Indigo Spice Jet flights, in fact, have been denied permission to land at Kathmandu Tribhuvan International Airport. That is the breaking news that is coming in. Both these flights, in fact, from Delhi, they were trying to make their way towards Kathmandu. Both flights were forced to return. This as reports of ATC personnel at Tribhuvan International Airport being evacuated following aftershocks. Kathmandu Airport is shut till 4 p.m. for all operations. In fact, let me go across to Atir Khan, who is joining us for more on this story. Atir, bring us up to date. What is the situation at the Tribhuvan International Airport as of now?
Well, you see, there's still uncertainty as to what will happen to the flight operations because the Kathmandu operations were suspended. The airport operations were suspended due to there were fresh tremors. In fact, we were on board the flight to Kathmandu, and the pilot had announced that since there were fresh tremors in Kathmandu airport, the ATC staff has been evacuated from the ATC tower. Therefore, the flights cannot land, and an inspection has to be carried out of the airport strip to find out whether it is safe for landing. Though the rescue, aircraft are being allowed landing, but now this Indigo flight has come back to Delhi. There is a lot of concern because there are school students on board the flight who are from Nepal, and they had come here to attend a conference, and they are quite worried about the well-being of their family and loved ones back in Kathmandu.
Right. Atir, also, does it also affect the military flights? Are the relief and rescue operations that all these Indian Air Force aircrafts are undertaking, does this affect the Air Force flights too?
Well, what the pilot told us was that the pilot said that the relief and rescue flights are being allowed to land. However, the commercial flights are not being allowed to land. And the flight we have taken, there are a number of school students and Nepalese residents, nationals, and also has a number of journalists who are traveling there for the coverage. But then the flight has come back to Delhi airport and waiting for a decision whether the flight will continue or it will take a while before the operations resume.
All right, thank you so much, Atir, for bringing us up to date with this piece of breaking news. In fact, Atir Khan there on board one of these flights, in fact, telling us that both these private operators flight, Indigo and Spice Jet, those which was going towards Kathmandu, they have been returned back to India because they could not land at the Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu because the ATC officials there were evacuated when the fresh tremors took place. In fact, till 4 p.m. now, we have been told, all operations at this airport have been suspended. There is still uncertainty whether these flights will be allowed to take off or not. Many journalists, many Nepalese residents, those who are going back to their country, and also other people that engaged in the relief and rescue work were on board these flights. Well, it has happened again. In a span of 24 hours, 2 major earthquakes have jolted Nepal. The aftershocks reverberated through regions of north and east and central India. The quake measured 6.9 on the Richter scale with an epicenter in Kodori, 80 kilometers from the Nepalese capital of Kathmandu. The quake struck even as rescue and relief operations were underway. Aftershocks were felt across north, east and central India, with some jolts being experienced in Rajasthan too.
At 12:39, an aftershock of the magnitude 6.9 has been observed at the latitude 27.6 degree north and longitude 85 degree east, which is approximately 130 kilometers away from the epicenter of the main earthquake which occurred yesterday.
I couldn't say anything. I was awestruck at this news. I was hearing this news, and I felt really scared at that time.
So as you can see that there is uncertainty as to what is happening in Kathmandu still. It's a devastation of a magnitude which is unimaginable, and there are people on board this flight who are still concerned because the pilot says that still there's no go ahead to land, and then the other options are being, the pilot is holding on in air, but there are other possibilities he's trying to explore in case the permission for landing is not granted. With camera person Vinod Kumar, Arthur Khan on board the flight to Kathmandu.
Well, that was Deputy Editor Arthur Khan, who is in fact trying to make his way towards Kathmandu. He was on that flight that has been returned back to India. In fact, massive rescue and relief operations have been launched. India right at the forefront of these relief and rescue operations in the Himalayan nation. Well, it seems that the flights, in fact, have been resumed. Let me quickly cut across to Managing Editor TV Today Network, Rahul Kamal, who is actually on one of these flights en route Kathmandu. Rahul, have the flights been resumed? Are we expecting, flights to start, operations to start at the Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu?
We've just been told, Ankit, moments before now, that Aditya Ghosh, who's the president of Indigo, has been able to establish contact with the Kathmandu ATC, and the pilot just announced that this plane is being refueled, and in a short while from now we will hopefully be en route once again to Kathmandu. The first time round when we were circling Kathmandu, when we'd almost reached, there was a fresh tremor measuring 6.7 on the Richter scale, and we were told that all the officials in the ATC left as a, just as a mark of precaution, and there was nobody at the air traffic control at that time. So till 4 p.m. All services were cancelled.
Yeah.
Now, if this flight were to take off now, it will land post 4 p.m. and that's the hope that by the time this flight reaches Kathmandu, hopefully air traffic will be normal, and that's the hope that people have. And there's a huge cheer in the plane when the pilot announced that the flight will be going back to Kathmandu, because remember, on board with us are several people who've got family members in Nepal, in Kathmandu. They're very tense, very anxious. Some of them even broke down when it was announced that this flight will not be able to land in Kathmandu. They're very stressed about how their family members are doing, and they're very relieved with the fact that at least they'll be able to touch base with them and reunite with them if this flight does land in Kathmandu.
Right. Thank you so much, Rahul, for bringing us up to speed with the latest as far as the operations, air operations in Nepal is concerned. As Rahul was, in fact, telling us, the announcement has been made that very soon the flight will once again try and make its way towards Kathmandu, try and land there at the Tribhuvan International Airport. The operations were suspended till 4 p.m. It now seems that the Indigo flight is going to take off after being refueled.